Hashem Al Shai by Hashem o'clock with that. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to title this video, "This is why we don't deal with these clown-ass Christians." So this is a video I was watching. Enough of it where it caused me to want to make a video. So the title here is Deuteronomy 17:17, multiple wives, Christians, false doctrine, and polygamy. So you got Jake asking the Edomite question. That's Jake bound down to Esau because he doesn't know the scripture. So he goes to Esau, and Esau, corrects the brother, which he's not an Israelite. To Jake, I say he's a brother because he's a fellow Israelite. But let's go ahead and watch the video, or part of the video. Fair use, as you can see.
So I have a friend, and he was Christian, but now he's kind of dive into Hebrew Israelite,
and this hurts,
Black Hebrews,
this hurts the Christian community because the question or the topic of Israelites come up, and they know that they're losing members. 99% of the members of that are Israelites, among the men and women too, are former Christians. So you lost another one.
So it's like they live by the law of God, so on and so forth, but also grab hold to Jesus. Basically, the issue is polygamy. So essentially, he's saying that the Old Testament allowed for polygamy, so having multiple wives, husbands having multiple wives, and that there's no scripture that ever condemned polygamy.
Sure there is. Deuteronomy 17:17. Don't multiply wives.
Now, that's a devil for you. That applied to the king. Let's go to that. Notice he didn't. It says, don't multiply horses, don't multiply gold and silver. Did not Solomon, the greatest king in Israel, the wisest king of Israel, did not the Most High bless him with silver and gold and horses, and he was considered the richest, in the world at that time. He would be like a trillionaire today. So where did he get all the riches? From the Most High. So the Most High is contradicting himself. So let's go to Deuteronomy 17:17. Try not to make this long. Okay, so it says, neither shall multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away, neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. Did not King David have silver and gold? Did not Solomon have silver and gold on top of silver and gold? He built the temple, which took 7 years, and he built his house. He built his house, and it took 14 years. And when you're building the temple, and it was a heathen that built the temple and his house. Let's ask that question. Give me a second. Let me open up another. Okay, let's come over here. Bear with me for a minute. Let it pull on up. Okay, yeah, this is a video.
See, if this was in class,
this is a read to Nervous Nate. This is a video. Nervous Nate is a video that Vocab put together, and Nate was nervous. I said, "What the hell you got to be nervous of this guy? This guy, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know, and he's about money too. He got a video out, and I went into it on this video. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this. I'm kind of changing subjects, but I'll get back. Okay, let me come over here. Come right over here.
The Christian community. They will cover the Holy Land of the will leave their homeland to come to the land. Will all gather together to conquer the West in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Directly tied to the Battle of Armageddon.
Come on back.
It is often overlooked and understudied in the Abrahamic faiths. Christ tells us that one of the signs of the end of the world is deception. Distraction is considered by many to be a tool of deception. But what else will happen in the last days? There will be wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, tsunamis, earthquakes.
Which we're experiencing right now.
Meteors falling to the earth, celestial signs, economic collapses, social decline, violence.
Right now, Trump, Donald J. Trump, the last Trump, we strongly believe that he's the cruel Lord in Isaiah chapter 19, which is a prophecy. And Isaiah chapter 19 mentions the word Egypt, or the land Egypt, which is Mizraim, a number of times, and we know that it's talking about America. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know this guy Ron Dalton or Moses Levy. That's his Hebrew name. I don't know how much he understands the prophecies, but he's linking up the Gog and Magog as being Edomites. Gog and Magog, Gog, Magog, Meshach, Tubal, which are sons of Japhet, which came out of Japhet, grandsons of Japhet and so forth, Ashkenaz. He thinks that the Japhet is a so-called white man that came out of Noah. Now, this doesn't make sense because what color was easy? What color is Noah? He would probably say a black man. Okay, what color are the Canaanites? They're black. What color are the Shemites? He most likely would say black because he believes he's an Israelite. So you got Noah, which is black, probably super dark skin. When I say black, I'm talking about dark brown. So you got Noah. You got Shem, which is one of the sons of Noah. You got not Japhet, but Canaan, which is definitely Esau will tell you that. Oh, the Canaanites came from Ham. Ham is the son of Noah and so forth. So then he's gonna have Japhet, and he's white. If you're a dark-skinned man, you get with a dark-skinned woman. Your woman says, "I'm pregnant." The child come out white, looking like a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, or white baby. And she says, "Oh, that happens." No, it doesn't. You're gonna do if you're not slapping the shit out of her, you're gonna do a DNA test, and then you're gonna realize, no, that's not your baby. So the only way for Noah to have a white babies is if he's white. All of them were black. All the sons of Noah were so-called black. So he doesn't understand. He really actually believes that when Japheth was born, he came out as a white baby, and all his sons came out as white. He doesn't understand the scriptures. So let's watch a little bit more, and then I'm gonna go back to the multiple wives.
The lack of love, food shortages, hunger, hyperinflation, sexual immorality,
We haven't experienced
idolatry.
hyperinflation, but we could experience hyperinflation. That's when prices go. In the morning, you buy a loaf of bread, it might be $5. Later that afternoon, it might be $15. That night, it might be $150. That's hyperinflation. We haven't experienced that yet.
Blasphemy, false prophets, false Christs, and the fall of mystery Babylon, which hearkens the fall of the last ruling kingdom on earth. But there is one prophecy
Well, I mean, is he saying that it's America?
that is often overlooked and understudied in the Abrahamic
Trump speaks about the fall of Babylon. He's showing the statue. So this is New York. So is he saying Babylon? I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna pay, $30 to watch his video, which in order to watch this video, to rent it is $20, to buy it is $30. So I'm not going to watch his video. Now, if he wants to send it to me for free, he can. I may take time out to watch it. But I don't know if his stance on Babylon is New York. Because some of these Christians, that's Babylon is talking about New York. It's not talking about all of America. We maintain it's talking about all of America.
Faiths, and that is the prophecy of Gog and Magog, which is directly tied to the Battle of Armageddon, in which God delivers a final judgment to the nations, a part of Gog and Magog's army. The people of Gog and Magog's massive army is recognized in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. In Islam,
Yajuj... He's showing you the Russian army, and they're saying that the so-called
and Majuj are trapped in a faraway land. But when the day of judgment comes, they will all gather together to conquer the world.
This is fair use, by the way.
In the book of Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 20 in the Holy Bible, it describes how the nations in this massive army of Gog and Magog will leave their homeland to come to the land of the true Israelites, to steal, plunder, and exploit the land and all the resources within it that the true Israelites are in possession of. They will cover the holy land of the Israelites like a massive cloud with their people, and at the end they wage war against the Israelites, in which the Most High will destroy them. Knowing all of this, why doesn't the Christian community, Hebrew Israelite community, Jewish community, and Muslim community have any answers about who comprises the nations of Gog and Magog's army today?
He has the answers. So anyway, you can watch, give me a second. Okay, so this is it right here. Watch trailer. So he's paid. Trust me, he's doing very well. We know how many people follow him. We know Kyrie Irving paid money.
In the Bible, Christ tells us that one of the signs of the end of the world is deception. Distraction is considered by many to be a tool of deception. Happen in the last days. There will be wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, tsunamis, earthquakes, meteors falling to the earth.
I want to get to the part where he speaks about Japhet, and look what picture pops up, which is incorrect.
Celestial signs, economic collapse.
Notice he thought UFO. So what's his take on the UFO? He says we're crazy for saying that UFOs are from heaven.
There will be wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, tsunamis, earthquakes, meteors falling to the earth, celestial signs.
Celestial signs. He doesn't know. This is obviously what do you call that? AI. You know, what is it? What is it? What do you call it? Computer CGI, computer graphic imaging. He doesn't. He says we're these Israelites that teach that UFOs are going to come down and deliver us, and that UFOs are from heaven. These guys are going off. He's talking about us. Well, that's how you think we're going to get delivered. Are we going to hop on a 747?
Economic collapses, social decline, violence, the lack of love, food shortages, hunger, hyperinflation, sexual immorality, idolatry, blasphemy, false prophets, false Christs, and the fall of mystery Babylon, which hearkens the fall of the last ruling kingdom on earth. But there is one prophecy that is often overlooked and understudied in the Abrahamic faiths, and that is the prophecy of Gog and Magog, which is directly tied to the Battle of Armageddon, in which God delivers a final judgment to the nations, a part of Gog and Magog's army. The people of Gog and Magog's massive army is recognized in Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. In Islam, Yajuj and Majuj are trapped in a faraway land, but when the day of judgment comes, they will all gather together to conquer the world. In the book of Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 20 in the Holy Bible, it describes how the nations in this massive army of Gog and Magog will leave their homeland to come to the land of the true Israelites, to steal, plunder, and exploit the land and all the resources the true Israelites are in possession of. They will cover the whole Israelites like a massive cloud with their people, and at the end they wage war against the Israelites, in which the...
By the way, he's correct on Gog Magog kicking off this war, Armageddon, which means mountain of troops. However, Bishop Nate says, oh, this is going to happen, Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 20 and 7 on down. Oh, this is going to happen. We're going to be 1,000 years in the kingdom. We're going to be enjoying ourselves for 1,000 years. And then Gog, he says Gog and Magog, they're going to get together with other nations. They're going to attack us. And the Most High has got to save us again. So what does it say when, and so we shall forever be with the Lord? It says the Most High is going to be among men. The Lord is going to be among men in Revelation 20. Keep bringing this up.
The Most High will destroy them. Knowing all of this, why doesn't the Christian community, Hebrew Israelite community...
This Daniela, this is old. That's Daniela. This is a while back. But he mentions why doesn't the Hebrew Israelite... No, we covered Ezekiel 38. We understand what it means. It's not talking about
Jewish community and Muslim community have any answers about who comprises the
we got the answers. We have all the answers.
Nations of Gog and Magog's army today. The book of Genesis records Noah's son Japheth as having 7 sons.
You see that? These are, you got them looking like kind of like Russian looking Edomites, you know. So this is supposed to be Japheth, and this is his 7 sons. Which Japheth had to be dark because Noah was dark. If Noah was dark, his 2 brothers, Shem and what is it? Ham. I said Canaan. Ham and Shem. If they were dark, the father was dark, the mother was dark. The wives of Shem, Shem and Ham were dark. Then how can Japhat come out looking like this? So he doesn't understand. This, like I said in the previous video, this is old school Hebrew Israelism. My parents told me in the early 70s, oh, you know, the white man came from, they're sons of Japheth. The first time I heard that so-called white man descended from Edom was when I went to the main school.
Magog, Meshech, Tubal, Gomer, Tiras, Madai, the progenitor of the Medes Persians, and Javan, the progenitor of the Greeks and Romans. Gog and Magog's prophecy.
Original people of the Greeks and Romans were the original sons of Japheth, which were dark people.
In Ezekiel 38 lists 5 of these sons of Japheth as the nations who will come to the true holy land of Israel.
He's saying, because he maintains that the true holy land of Israel is in Africa, somewhere in Africa, which he's off on that. Because there's a lot of explaining that you got to do. You know? They went through the so-called Red Sea, so they would be going, if Africa is west of a Red Sea, and they went through the Red Sea, they're going east. They're not going west. So he doesn't know, but he, you know, like the Apostle Paul said, and uses scripture a lot, least ye be wise in your own conceit. Now, when you watch that video when he goes head to head with Nate, both of them were wrong. Both of them were wrong. So anyway, if you want to spend money to watch the movie, you can watch it and you tell me about the movie. Oh, it was a good movie, Tahar. I'm leaving. I'm getting with Ron Dalton. I'm getting with him. He got the real truth. Okay, so now, where am I? Okay, so now let's come over here. So you heard the Edomite looking preacher corrected Jake, because Jake, I gotta go to the white man. He got the true truth. The Israelites almost got me. Okay, so let me do this. So when he pulls that scripture out, that refers to the king. Okay, I want to go, Lord, give us the possess. Give me a second. And the people shall hear and shall mourn and presumptuously. Okay, let me 15th verse. Thou shalt in any wise, and go to the 14th verse. When thou art come unto the land which Yahweh the Most High giveth thee, and shall possess it, which is the land of Palestine, Israel, so you can understand. Possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. It says when you go there, if you ask for a king, because he knew that they were going to ask for a king, and it was already established that the Most High was going to set up a king. The first king was Moses. Moses was the first king. He was not officially crowned as king, but he was the first king. And he comes back in reincarnation. What's Ron Dalton's view on reincarnation? Does he believe that? Because he knows about us. He knows about GMS, IGPK, IUIC. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahweh the Most High shall choose, one from among thy brother, meaning the Israelite, shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Now let's look up the word stranger. Sometimes the word stranger in the Old Testament is referring to the Israelites. Other times it's talking about another nation. I mean, we all know this, but we got a lot of new people in this thing. Okay, the word is nakar or nakar yah. The yah mean it. Like Yahweh Da is Judah and Yahweh Dayah is Judite. So let's click on it. So I got to use the blue letter. Bishop Nate, I was correcting him last night because he said Japhet means beautiful. And that's what the 7 used to teach. Japhet does not mean beautiful. Japhet means open, which is Yapath. Yapah is beautiful. It sounds similar, but 2 different words. If you was go to the blue letter, go to the Ben Yehudi, you would get it right. So the word nakar yah, from the root word nakar, which means stranger, foreign, alien, harlot, unknown, unfamiliar, which means of another nation. Sometimes you come across the word stranger in the Old Testament, and it's referring to an Israelite that you don't know, that's from a land outside of Palestine that wants to come in. They're considered strangers. And Christians don't understand that. So they say, see, it says the stranger. Well, when you go to Exodus 12, it mentions stranger a couple of times. At one point it says the stranger cannot eat the Passover. Another point it says if the stranger eats the Passover, he has to be circumcised. So it's obviously talking about 2 different strangers. Like I said, I got to do this because I'm not teaching this to you that been in this thing for 17 years, 18 years, 10 years. I'm teaching the ones that we always get new people in this thing. So you got to break it down to them. You just can't go around and say, oh, the white man's the devil. Okay, so give me a second. So let me play this back. So this guy, he wants answers. So he said, let me go to I'm confused right now. So let me go to an authority, a white man. Let's listen to this again. This is why we don't If a Jake come up, he can't get it after a couple of times. You know, a heretic after the first and second admonition reject. That's talking about a Jake. If a Jake can't get it after a couple of times, you might try to deal with him 2 or 3 times. You gotta let him go. Let's listen to this again.
Hebrew Israelite, Black Hebrews. Basically, it's like they live by the law of God, so on and so forth, but also grab hold to Jesus. So basically.
Well, wait a minute. Did not Jesus say keep the law? Did not he tell the woman that was going to be stoned for the act of adultery? Did not he say go and sin no more? So what does that mean, go and sin no more? Meaning go and keep the laws.
Basically, the main issue is polygamy. So essentially, he's saying that the Old Testament allowed for polygamy, so having multiple wives, husbands having multiple wives, and that there's no scripture that ever condemned polygamy.
Sure there is. Deuteronomy 17:17. Don't multiply wives.
Okay. Okay.
And by the way, let me say one other thing about this, Rod. Not everything described in the Bible is prescribed in the Bible. Okay. And I think so.
So he's saying, okay, he covered his ass. Yeah, the Lord allowed it, but he really didn't want it. So that's the Most High. He's Most High speaking out of two sides of it, either side of his mouth. No, he didn't understand it. But this is what you get going to the white man. Now let me just go to the ultimate authority, a white Christian.
So many people, we think, oh, if it's written in the Bible, God must approve it. You know, David's adultery is written in the Bible, but it's a description. It's not a prescription. Okay. There's a lot of descriptions. God, if you look at every time polygamy was engaged in, from Genesis on, everybody that did it, it resulted in disaster.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Jacob had laid with 4 different women. So is the disaster that the Israelites? Yes, it's a disaster to you because the Israelites came out of those 4 women. So how in the fuck did Jacob laying with 4 different women, Leah, Rachel, and they each had 2 handmaids, which was forced to lay. Leah said, "Look, bitch, come over here. I want you to lay with my husband." She couldn't say, "Nah, I don't like him. His ears are too big." She get the shit slapped out of her and get enforced. See, a lot of you Israelites, you weak-ass, punk-ass Israelites, great. No, you can't, great woman. You can't. You've been in this society too long, man. You've been sucking on your mama's titty too long. Okay, so this clown doesn't know what he's talking about. So he said every time there's a situation where a man has more than one woman, it's always a disaster. What was the disaster in like I said, Jacob laying with 4 different women? Where was the disaster in Abraham laying with 3 different women? Sarah's wife, Hagar's what do you call it, bondmaid, and Keturah's sons. What was the disaster in that? Where was the disaster? And the Most High did say, because of the act of adultery of King David, the Most High said, "Look, man, if you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. Just as fine as Bathsheba." And then, okay, if that was a disaster, Bathsheba bore a Solomon. Solomon became the greatest king in the history of Israel. So how did Solomon being born a disaster? So what in the hell is this devil talking about? This is why we don't deal with these clowns. Like I said, we don't need them, they need us.
Look at Solomon.
So in that scripture where it says, because I brought that up, where it said to the kings, it was for the kings, right? Do not take many wives.
Do not multiply wives. Yeah.
Okay, so what he takes that to mean is like there has to be a certain amount. There has to be a bunch of them.
Okay, time out. When he says that, it's not your job to refute what he says. It's his job to support what he says. What do you mean by that? And how did you come to that conclusion?
So you're saying that it means you can't have more than one wife. That's what that means. I'm good with it, but is that
okay?
Well, I'm good with it, but I just want to. The question is this: I want to have solid, because I've debated him a bunch. I want to have solid.
All right.
Yeah, he's going through what he believes is the authority. That's why the fuck these niggas, man. I would have solid, meaning he going to Esau. I keep playing this out. I'm stretching this out. He wants to get it, so when he deals with the Israelite, he can deal with them. He gonna come and he gonna deal with us, and he gonna get effed up.
Scriptural evidence, okay, to give him the end it.
There's a couple. Nail. All right. First of all, there's a buddy of mine by the name of Adam Coleman that does a lot of work on YouTube on the Hebrew Israelite.
Adam Coleman has long dreads, which is in violation of what the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Man's not to have long hair. When is he going to cut his hair?
Check him out, Adam Coleman. Okay. And also check out David Wood on YouTube, Acts 17. He does a lot with Muslims, but also Hebrew Israelites. And also Vocab Malone also deals with Hebrew Israelites. So they're more experts in that field than I am. So Adam Coleman, David Wood, Vocab Malone.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem.
Okay, so now let's put this on pause for a minute. So let's come over here. So let's get let's bring this back. This is for you newer people. So when you come into the land, it said, thou shalt in no wise set up over him a king over thee, whom the Lord thy power shall choose, one from among thy brethren. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not of thy brother, meaning an Israelite. The king of Israel has to be an Israelite. But he, the king, shall not multiply horses to himself. Did not David have many horses? Did not he have armies? Did not the armies of David ride on horses? Nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that they should multiply horses, for as much as the Lord Yahweh have said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shalt thou multiply wives to themselves, that his heart turn not away. Well, guess what? You can have one wife, and that one wife can turn your heart away from this truth, right? Did not that happen to Adam? Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. Did not let me go here. I'm sorry. Let me open up another tab. We can come back to this. Give me a second. And come back over here. How am I going to answer this? I'm sorry. Let me open this up. Okay, I'm sorry. Just getting my bearings straight. Yeah, and then Anton Daniels. It got these stories. He's kind of being like showing you how the Jake woman is. This guy's a firefighter, and he finds out his wife cheats. I guarantee you they black. Guaranteed. That's why Jake men are getting with Edomite women. You don't marry Jake women. You're supposed to marry them, but you don't marry them, because that's a disaster. Okay, where did I say I was gonna go? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me come over here. Matter of fact, I'm over here. Did God give Solomon gold and silver? Yes. In the Bible, God, the Most High, granted King Solomon not only wisdom, but also riches and gold and silver. So wait a minute. The Most High said, look, don't multiply horses, don't multiply wives, and don't multiply gold and silver. But here the Most High, what did he spoil Solomon? Here the Most High gave him gold and silver. When Solomon asked for understanding, by the way, it was a dream he had. He had a dream that he asked for it. Get it right. To judge the Most High's people, the Most High granted his request, and in addition to wisdom, promised Solomon wealth and honor. The Bible describes Solomon as having vast amounts of gold and silver, including riches from Ophir, which is America, a mine that is believed to have been in the Middle East. They say believe because they don't know it. Ophir, the gold of Ophir is the Americas. Can I give you some precepts? Okay, here's one. The Queen of Sheba gave Solomon 4. So you had this queen that gave Solomon 4.5 tons of gold. That's a lot of gold. A huge amount of spices and precious stones. She gave him more spices than anyone has ever brought. So the Most High said, don't add to yourself. But guess what? Did the Most High bless him with gold and silver? So what the hell is this guy? Like the scripture says, don't multiply to thyself wives, because the wives are going to turn you from the Most High. One woman could do that. Did not Paul say it's better that you don't have no woman? You want to really be focused? Don't have any woman, because that one woman can turn you away. Many men have gone out of their wits over a woman. So if you can handle one woman, you can handle 2 women. If you can handle 2 women, you can handle 22 women. So what in the hell is this guy talking about? Anytime that happened, it was always a disaster. Like I said, Jacob bringing the Israel. How is bringing Israel a disaster? So this Jake that followed this damn cracker, he's not going to come into the truth. And that's on him. That's on you, dude. Okay? Because you really think that this guy's an authority. So let me come on back. I'm sorry. So the Most High blessed him with gold and silver. And he said, don't have a lot of gold and silver. Solomon had many horses. Solomon had, let me do this. Did King Solomon have many chariots? Did King Solomon have many chariots? Yes, King Solomon had a significant number of chariots. In order to power the chariot, you need horses. So if he had many chariots, he had many horses. According to the Bible, specifically 1 Kings 10, verse 26, and 2 Chronicles 1, verse 14, Solomon had 1,400 chariots. Chariots, you might have 2 horses in the front. Let's say 1 horse or 2 horses. So how many horses? Double that is what is that? 4, that's 8. There's almost 3,000 horses. You can say. Wait a minute. Number of chariots. Solomon accumulated 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horsemen. That was his army. That was his army that the Most High gave him. And then he had, let me do this. Did King Solomon have many wives? Yes, the Bible states that King Solomon had a vast number of wives and concubines, women of the other nations. Second-class wives, so you can understand. Specifically, it mentioned that he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. These women included foreign princesses from various regions like Egypt, Moab, Edom, Sidon, and the Hittites. So he even got with Canaanites. So and the Most High allowed this to happen. Now, when did Solomon go off? When he was old. Women rub on him. Build a high tower for me in the name of Baal Peor. Hey, okay, baby, okay. So what in the hell is this guy talking about? Anytime a man, and we go in the scriptures, it was always disastrous. Come on, man. Let me do this. Did God give King David many wives? Let's see who's going to come up. It's complex. Oh, come on. See, that's an Edomite. The Bible accounts that King David had multiple wives. Some scholars interpret certain passages as suggesting that the Most High, through the prophet Nathan, acknowledged David's wives and even indicated that he could have had more. He could have had more. He said, Nathan said, why did you deal with this woman when the Most High could have gave you women that's fine as her and finer and gave you abundance of women? Because he had that lovey-dovey feeling I get with I'm with you. What's that dude, Tony, whatever his name is. He had that lovey-dovey feeling. That woman's special. All you men are weak to that, bro. Oh, she just special. Let me see. Did approve David? Gotta have fun with this. Right. 2 Samuel 12, verse 8. Why did the Most High give David wives? I'm sorry. Does 2 Samuel 12 support polygamy? Let's go to 2 Samuel 12 and 8. Let's go. But who does the J go? He runs right to the Edomite, right to Massa. Massa gonna give me the true truth. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. See, we're at a point now we don't even deal with Christians. Just call the cops on them. Okay, let's go. As a king, you shouldn't have wives and gold. You know, a gift destroyeth the heart. A king should be a stoic. Live very modest. It says, this is concerning David. Nathan coming to David. He's mad. Moses mad at him because he committed adultery and committed murder. And I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives, as Saul, into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such. So he said he gave him wives with an S, plural. So he said, if you're not happy with all the stuff that I gave you, gold, silver, this, that, the third of the kingdom of Israel, women, if you wasn't happy with that and you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. So how is that a disaster? It was a disaster because he committed the act of adultery. And that's why the Most High put the spirit on his son Absalom to come against him, because he knew he knew why his son came, his beloved son. That was his favorite son, and his favorite son looked to kill him and take the kingdom. Why? Because of the act of adultery. But ultimately, David is in his seat, even though he committed the act of adultery and the act of murder, which he was supposed to be put to death. That's the number one man in the kingdom. In the kingdom of heaven, David's going to be sitting on that first throne, which is Moses. See, Christians don't understand that. They can't wrap their head around the concept of Christianity. Okay, so now let's come back over here. Okay, what does the Bible say about having multiple wives? It says the Bible neither explicitly condemns nor commends or condemns polygamy, right? Having multiple wives. You're not breaking the law when you have multiple wives. But it does depict it as a prevalent practice in the Old Testament, particularly among leaders like Abraham, Esau, Jacob, David, and Solomon, 1,000 women. And they were all virgins, by the way. Every woman that he got with were untouched until he touched them. While not forbidden, so you can have that, the Bible also highlights the potential negative consequences and the dangers of polygamy, especially when you got 1,000 women and you're old, suggesting it's not the ideal marital status for a believer. It's going to be the ideal marital status in the kingdom because we're going to be perfect. We're not going to be swayed by the woman. So you got various verses here. Give me a second. Where is it? Give me a second here. Where are we? Okay, here we go. I made it easy for myself. What does the Bible say about multiple wives? Exodus 21 and 10. If he takes another wife, which is the second wife, right? Deuteronomy 17:17. That was a suggestion. Don't get a whole lot of wives, because it's going. A king pretty much the king is the head Edomite. The head Levite. The Levites judge matters. If it was a hard matter, it came up to the king, and he would judge it. So the king was almost like the ultimate Levite. He was like a high priest, and the king is supposed to be a stoic. It also says in Deuteronomy 17 that you should. Let me go back to that. That a king. I'm sorry. Come back over here. Okay, here it is, 18th verse. And it shall be when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom that he shall write him a copy of this law, the whole law, in a book out of that which he before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life. You read all the laws, you go back, you read the laws again. So as you read the laws, you understanding the laws, and the laws are in you. Put my law in your inward, in your inward part. And we are going to be kings, right? That he may learn to fear Yahweh, his power, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes to do them. So he had to be an expert of the law. The scriptures say, I believe it's Deuteronomy chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken. It goes into from Deuteronomy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I believe it's in 6. It said, teach your sons the law. When you see your neighbor, when you talk to your neighbor, talk about the law. So can you imagine us, anything we do, we talking about the law. We're just going into the law. You have a conversation. You ain't talking about the playoffs, the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference, who's going to win the fight between Canelo and Terrence Crawford. No, every time you have a conversation, you in the barbershop, you're supposed to be talking about the law. You with your sons, talk about the law. Your daughter's the household got to know the law. It was up to it. That's why he said, don't multiply wives, don't multiply horses, don't multiply gold and silver to yourself, because you got to be a stoic. Your focus is on keeping the law. So when Levites can't handle a situation, it comes right up to you. Didn't Jethro tell Moses that? He said, set you up officers of 10s, officers of 50s, officers of 100s, and they deal with the small matters. If it's a matter too big for them, they go up to you, Moses. Because Moses, This is a spiritual reason why he married a Ethiopian woman, a woman of another nation, Zipporah. So really, to meet Zipporah's father, because Zipporah's father was a tribeman. See, Christians don't understand this stuff. They only know a handful of scriptures. When you go into the history and David, and you ask them a basic question like, I'm trying to think of something easy, but somewhat complex. Like ask David, say, you familiar with King David? Yes. Who is Solomon's mother? They might not even know. I guarantee you most of them don't know, unless you're really in the scriptures, right? You might ask them a question. What's Moses' sister's name? I didn't know he had a sister. These Christians don't know, except for the ones. This is why vocab had to be trained in a theological seminary. And he already lost because we don't even deal with him. He's a persona non grata, you know? Anyway, I'm going to say I went a little long. Please forgive me. Pray the Most High put the Spirit on me. I keep putting up videos today. With that, it's on to the next Shalom. This is back to the basics.